Fort Walton Beach offers so much, but it's hard to look at a map and figure out, well, where's everything at. So in today's video, we're going to pull up a map right here, and we're going to go through it and talk about all of Fort Walton, kind of talk about where the hot spots are, where the houses are, where the shopping is, where downtown is, how to get on Okaloosa Island, some of the secret beach spots. I want to show you guys those too. So without further ado, let's jump onto the computer and let's take a peek. Let's go. All right, and we are right here in front of the computer here. I've got, well, I thought I had, let me pull up my annotate here so I could draw for you guys. On the last one, I didn't do any drawing or anything like that, so I figured this would be a lot helpful. When I say the last one, I mean the one we did last week for Destin. So if you want to know everything about Destin, instead of Fort Walton, we have this exact same style map video that we did last week as well. So I want to run through this for you guys, kind of show you guys where different areas of town are, the shopping, all that great stuff that I mentioned before. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, let me kind of zoom out on this map to get everybody, to get us all our bearings here so that we know exactly where we're at. Most people know where Pensacola is, they know where Destin is, and they know where Panama City Beach is. So Fort Walton is located just west of Destin. And this is kind of the main hub for a lot of the people that are going to be working out of Eglin Air Force Base, Hurlburt Field, which is also another air base, just a special operations version. And this is where a good chunk of people live. This is actually where our office is located. We service everything from Pensacola to Panama City Beach and everything in between. But our office is located right here. That's actually what this cute, cool little blue thing is. So I kind of want to run through this with you guys. We're going to talk about housing, shopping, all that great stuff. So I'm going to start with something kind of fun just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting for those of you that have visited Fort Walton before, and maybe you've gone to the beach and had a great time, right? But did you know that there's 7 secret spots on Okaloosa Island that a lot of people that come visit don't actually know about? So here's where most people go when they get onto Okaloosa Island. So this is that strip. This is that island right from Destin or from Crab Island, if you know where that is at. Crab Island. If you don't know what Crab Island is, it's an awesome time. It's a sandbar. You know, it's sitting underneath. It's kind of like a little island just underneath the water, sitting about 2 to 3 feet deep, sometimes 4 to 5 feet in some of the areas, but for the most part, it's about 2 to 3 feet deep. It's a great time. People dock up their boats. We've got floating bars and even a general store, and people driving around these little dinghies and stuff, selling drinks out of a coconut and stuff like that. It's a good time. But people come to Okaloosa Island. Where they generally end up is either at John Beasley State Park right here. It's got great parking. It's got some great facilities here to use a restroom, or they end up on the boardwalk somewhere because, well, the boardwalk has some inherent advantages. So if you're going here to go to the beach, nothing wrong with that. You've got Rockin' Tacos here. You've got the Crab Shack there. There's a couple other places as well. Actually, if I zoom in, if I zoom in here, you should see the Shrimp House. And then, of course, a bunch of different little shopping spots and stuff like that. Get a couple of drinks, what have you. So you've got the pier right here as well. So you can pay a couple of bucks and go along the pier and go see some of the birds that are always hanging out up there, go fishing, or just go out there and take in the views, which are, always beautiful. Well, not always beautiful, but, a good chunk of the time beautiful. But when I'm talking about the secret little spots, I kind of want to go over here and show you guys these. So here's one of them right here, right in between Azure and Gulf Dunes. And this is why I say it's secret, because they're all like this, where they've only got maybe 15, 20 spots inside of it. And then you've got this little walkout here, and you can see how barren the beach is. It's not as packed, although whenever you're next to a larger condo complex like Azure, you generally are going to get a little, more people here. I'm not sure when this photo was taken, but it definitely wasn't taken during prime season. And so that's just the first of many. We've got another one right here. So the second beach access here. And then just north of this one, we actually have a brand new little area that's on the sound side. So that you can come out here and friends can pick you up on their boats or what have you. So kind of a cool little spot there to avoid some of the traffic of getting out on the water and stuff if you want to pick up your friends halfway through. So we've got another one here, and we can keep going. We got another one here. So basically how you get to these, there's 7 of them in total all the way to the end. This is about a 3-mile stretch right here. And then it gets into the Air Force Base here where we can't go on, or you shouldn't go on, is what I should say. So as soon as you're coming over that bridge from downtown Fort Walton, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, you want to head right at that light. And great little spot. And by the way, little plug for my buddy's business over here, Power Up Water Sports. You guys are out here renting boats or pontoons or jet skis or whatever you're renting. Go to Power Up. They're freaking awesome over there. I love them. I've actually been going there far before I knew the owner. So it's not just a plug for a friend. So anyway, that was the fun stuff. Now let's talk about Fort Walton Beach as a whole. There's a couple of things I want to go over. Everything that we're looking at right now is what we would call Fort Walton Beach. Now, there are a couple of little subsets in here and little suburbs of Fort Walton Beach we're going to talk about. And that's right over here, which is Mary Esther, and then right up here in Shalimar. So these are technically separate little miniature cities, but they all kind of fall under the umbrella of Fort Walton Beach in general. So starting with this, I want to show you guys where the airport is. So if you are going to be moving down here, which by the way, if you are, give us a call. All of my information is going to pop up on the screen real quick. That's what we help people with. But if you are moving here, this is the airport in which you will be using. This is actually a shared airport with Eglin Air Force Base. If I go back to the satellite, you can kind of see this here. We've got several different runways. The primary one that'll be taken out for most commercial flights is right here. But the point is, this is the Destin Fort Walton Beach airports. I think last year it was like the second fastest growing airport in this side of the country or something like that. I'm not sure. It's a great airport though. Real easy to get in and out of. I'm leaving out there tomorrow. Actually, I'm going on a trip, as I generally do. And I'm going to show up maybe 45 minutes to an hour early. I've got pre-check. Even if I didn't have pre-check, I'd still be able to pull that off. It's a small airport, but it's got everything you need, which is great. Real easy. And this is about a 20-minute drive from the heart of Fort Walton Beach. So it's not that far, no matter which part of Fort Walton. Even if you're all the way down here in Mary Esther, you're still looking at about a 25-minute drive at worst. So pending, some crazy traffic, which can happen here and there. And this is cool. It's got the Air Force Armament Museum. This is actually one of the very first YouTube videos I did was on this museum because it's got some of my favorite aircraft to include the SR-71. But this is not a video about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that ride here. So I'm going to chunk this out into the different main living areas of where you might want to live at if you are considering moving down here, or maybe you got orders or what have you. So we've got all of this right here from about this road, let's call it right there, all the way down here is Mary Esther. In fact, and I should really just kind of do this because most of that chunk that I just did was Hurlburt Field, which you cannot live on. But you can live on the south side or the north side here in Mary Esther. Mary Esther's got a distinct advantage against Fort Walton Beach and Shalimar if we were pitting them up against each other, and that is that the pricing there is just a little bit cheaper. And I think that's because you're kind of away from the main city. Now, there's not a whole lot going on in this general direction. There's a few restaurants. I've got, cool Aegean Place, a McDonald's, hold on. All right. Sorry, had to sneeze there. So we do have a couple of restaurants and stuff down here, but for the most part, it's residential homes. You can kind of zoom in here. Let me see if it'll let me. And let me go to the satellite so you can see it. So it's just a bunch of these smaller neighborhoods. It's nothing too crazy. You're not going to see any major neighborhoods. There are a few. You've got Timberlake over here. And then right across the way, you've got, my mind is escaping me right here. But there's a little neighborhood over here, Stowe Road, Parish Boulevard, all of that, right next to the McDonald's. I drive by it every day. You'd think I'd remember what the name is because my house is actually over here somewhere. But so the entire point here is a bunch of smaller neighborhoods. So you get a little bit better of a price. You get access to 98, which is the main road that's going in and out. If you've watched any of our last videos, we're always talking about 98 because it's a mess, and sometimes it's great, but the access is really good to get in and out. But sometimes because it's the main road, like as you see, you don't see any other major highways going anywhere near Fort Walton Beach. So when there is an accident or when there's a lot of traffic, which we tend to have here because we are a tourist town technically, sometimes the traffic can get pretty bad. But when I say pretty bad, you guys have probably heard me say it in these videos. It's taking a 15-minute drive into a 25 to 30-minute drive. It's not so dramatic that it's crazy. Most of this traffic down here is fine. Now, if you're going onto the island during peak season or going into Destin, this area here can get a little congested. And this is where you're going to spend a good chunk of your time, as well as on Okaloosa Island as well. And this can span, I mean, you know, especially during the bigger holidays, 4th of July, stuff like that. This entire ride right here that should take about 6 minutes to get across can easily take an hour. It's not all the time. Again, it's just super peak season. But that is something you definitely need to know if you are considering moving down here. So going back to the little chunks of area to possibly live in, let me go back to this. We got Mary Esther, as I just mentioned. I just want to point that out again. Then you've got Fort Walton Beach proper, which kind of includes this area up here for Ocean City, including Wright and the Kenwood area, which I'll talk about. This is one of our bigger neighborhoods. And then you've got Elliott's Point, which is this little chunk down here, or downtown Fort Walton. Great areas down there as well. This is actually, when I move again, I think this is where I'm going to be. So while I'm on the subject, I'm just going to kind of point it out here. This is the Elliott's Point. Technically, I think Elliott's Point follows this right here, this little line. And then downtown Fort Walton is right here. So one of the cool advantages about being down here, particularly if you're kind of south of this area, although all of this entire area here is golf cart friendly. Now, if you're too much further above this line, it's going to take you kind of a while to get down here to downtown. And that's one of the big advantages of living in the Elliott Point or downtown Fort Walton area, is that you can take those golf carts, take it all the way around down here, and then boom, you're in downtown. You never have to hit any main roads. There are rules on the, the golf cart's got to be street legal, and you can't cross certain lines. You can't cross certain roads. For instance, you cannot cross Eglin Parkway. So if your office is right here, let's say, even if I lived over here, I would not be able to drive to my office. So that's kind of an unfortunate event there. But because it is golf cart friendly, it makes it very nice to be able to go into the downtown area, which has a ton of different things down here. I'm going to show you this here, kind of zoom into the downtown area. We've got Soundsides over here somewhere too. It's like the newest little bar restaurant. Same gentleman that owns that boat place owns that. Super cool spot. But you've got a lot of different stuff down here. Restaurants, bars. You get Cowhead is a great burger place. All of this great stuff. But the big thing that I'm wanting to point out here is the landing. This is where we're doing a lot of events. This is where we're doing our farmers markets. This is where we do tacos and tequila and craftathon and beer fest. So yeah, any of the festivals are happening right here in the landing. They also do concerts in the park. I think it's every Friday, if I'm remembering correctly. And they were doing movies in the park there for a while. I haven't seen any traffic on that in a while, so I don't know if they're still doing it. But they used to like put a big old inflatable out here, or a ship, literally a big old boat with a freaking huge screen on it to play some of the movies for the kiddos and things like that. So cool area to live in if you want to kind of be in that downtown scene area. You've got some other great restaurants here. The Boardroom is my personal favorite on the entire strip. It is such great food. And then they generally have some pretty good beers on tap as well. So Casey's, Taste, and Tapworks were the three places right in this area that they didn't renew their lease. So it's kind of hard to see here, but this is all sand. This is kind of a sand pit right here, and they've got a stage up here. And so you'd come out here, you'd listen to some good music, go to Casey's or Tapworks, grab yourself a brew or a drink, and enjoy the night there. Now, we're just waiting for new companies to come in there and take over that area. There's also a cool Suds and Cinema here. I don't go here all that often, but it's kind of like an older school movie theater that's got like comfortable seating. It's got like booth seating. You can order pizza and beer and stuff like that. So they call it a dollar theater, which I don't think it's $1 anymore. Obviously, but that's what they call it. And then you've got one of the Publix is right here. We've got 3 Publix that I can think of Yeah, 3 Publix. We've got multiple Winn-Dixies. We've got a Walmart. We've got a Sam's Club. All of that great stuff. I'll kind of show that as we go. So let me go back to this. Kind of went over that Elliott's Point area. One of the cool things that I actually kind of forgot to mention here is Elliott's Point, the actual park itself. So we've done videos on this multiple times, but Ferry Park here, it's got pickleball courts, tennis courts, huge soccer fields. You've got this whole area here, basketball courts, walking trails in and out. And you can't see this, but there's also a disc golf course that goes all the way through this 18 holes, kind of goes all the way through here, all the way around here. Oh, let me get my pen. Kind of goes through here, all the way around here. And this is the whole Ferry Park area. On top of having park stuff for the kiddos and stuff. And then even down here, we've got some gazebos and stuff. You want to have a little picnic. So just overall great park. There's a little stream running through this that goes straight out into Lake Earl over there. So very beautiful, very walkable. Sometimes I'll take my lunch out there and I'll actually sit out here, or I'll come out here by the basketball courts, eat my lunch, and then do a little jaunt around. And then there's actually a pretty cool trail that comes through, and it actually leaves this area and goes through a bunch of other neighborhoods as well. And it's got a bunch of military memorabilia and, or not memorabilia, but like military little checkpoints and stuff that you can go look at, from different things that have happened in the area. So kind of cool. It's like, I think it's called the Doolittle Trail or something from General Doolittle, something like that. And then right over here, you've got like this little shopping center here, the Common. I always want to call it Commons. It's Uptown Station. Commons is out in Destin. Oops, don't do that. And let me see if I can get rid of this. I'm not sure where that popped up. There we go. Nope. Yeah, there we go. All right. So that's what this whole area here is. They got a Buffalo Wild Wings here, a Kim's. You've got a Max Fit, like a protein, fitness area here. You've got Soy Bistro, or not Soy Bistro, Think Poke over here. Think Poke, I know it's technically how you say it. So good. It's like sushi in a bowl. It's one of my favorite places to go. And then you've got a Winn-Dixie right here. A craft beer place right here, which I'm not really a big fan of their food, but their beers are great. They've got a ton of them on tap, probably 30 or 40 on tap. And then a little liquor store and stuff like that. Next to it, a pet supermarket right here. And there's a little cafe thing here that you can get some pretty cool baked potatoes and stuff. But point of this is all of this is located here in this Elliott Point region. So if you're looking for that kind of vibe, awesome. If you want to be closer to the yacht club, maybe you've got a boat you want to put up here, I would suggest being on the north side. The houses get a little bit more expensive once you start crossing this line over here. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them do, obviously, because a bunch of them are right here on the water. And then you've got the yacht club up here. So that's the Elliott's Point area. Let's talk about the Fort Walton proper. We'll call it Fort Walton South because there's a northern section of this too that I want to talk about. So we'll call this like Fort Walton proper, Fort Walton South, whatever. You've got a scattered mix of properties as well as businesses. So along this road here, Beale, this is one of the main roads. Beale, Eglin, and 98. Those are the 3 that I want you thinking about. If you are going to be moving down here, those are the 3 main roads. Eglin goes all the way up into Eglin Air Force Base, big surprise. And then Beale goes all the way up to, well, also Eglin Air Force Base and the airport as well. So they just each kind of split off on different sections of the town here. So when we're looking at this, as you can see, we've got mostly single family homes all throughout this. But then you've got a bunch of businesses and such down here and all along this and up Yacht Club Road and Eglin Parkway. So there's a couple of houses inside of these areas too, and townhome areas. They're very scattered. It's not something that, there's generally a lot of options on. Most of your options are going to be down here. This is also where the schools are going to be. We've got a recreation center here as well. You've got let's see, get my bearings here. Here's a school, Fort Walton Beach High School right here. Got Edwin's Elementary School. They're right next to each other. So if you're in this area of town, this is probably where your kids are going to be going to school. Assuming, of course, you've got kids in that age. So lots of different price points out here. You've got some new construction, but a lot of it is older homes. I say older, I mean like 80s and 90s. It's the big chunk of what was built out here in this area. And then you start getting on this side, kind of over near Mary Esther, and you've got Mary Esther cutoff here. So this is another main road too. And this is what separates Fort Walton from Mary Esther. So on this side, it's Mary Esther. on the left side here, or west side, and on the east side, it is Fort Walton. So it gives you kind of a good idea on where everything is here. I'll actually pull up the home sales here in a minute, and we'll look at the different pricings of some of these properties as well. One really cool neighborhood that I want to get into that I've talked about on this channel right here, or here before, is right here. This whole neighborhood is so cool. They do Halloween and Christmas so well. They nail it. This is one of those areas that you go there to go look at the decorations in both of those areas, or both of those holidays. And they'll actually take you for Christmas. They'll come down here. And Northgate Estates is the name of the little section of town, or section of neighborhood. They'll actually take you through Woodbine right over here and come all the way out Homewood and come up here and go around John Quill, go into Echo, like all of this. They've got all these signs and stuff out so that they can actually direct traffic, because they get so much traffic for 2 days during Christmas time. They actually open up the neighborhood. I mean, the neighborhood's always open, but they pick 2 days in particular that the entire neighborhood kind of gets together. And this is when they're putting on their A game, and, they match some of them match their lights. It dances to the music at a certain radio station. So right when you pull in, it'll be like, go to 93.7 or whatever that's not the actual one, but whatever the radio station is, and you can see some of them dance to it. Great neighborhood, great for getting trick-or-treating and stuff done. Safe neighborhood. This is an 80s neighborhood, 70s and 80s primarily. And they're a little bit kind of a step up for what they were in the 70s and 80s. They weren't exactly luxury back then, but they were definitely kind of on the higher end. And so now a phenomenal neighborhood to live in. And that's just one. This sort of on the, the northern side, I guess is kind of what we're calling this northern side of Fort Walton right here. You got a couple other things to note here. If you are going to be living at the base, there's another cool neighborhood right outside of the gate right here. A lot of military folks live right here in this area. You can see there's a ton of houses here. And if you take this in right here, this is actually the back gate right here that you could take right into work. And this would take 2 minutes maybe to get to work, or at least to get to Hurlburt. And depending on where you're at on Hurlburt, it might take you a little bit longer if you have to go around the runway or what have you. It's another cool little neighborhood there. Let's get back up to this section. So up here on Beale Parkway, on either side of these main roads, you're going to see businesses. Same with the racetrack, same with Eglin, Beale, all of these, you're going to have that. So that's why you see Harley Davidson, Toyota, all of this great stuff here. Let me move this to this map here. And then you've got a bunch of little neighborhoods tucked around back here. In fact, my first house ever was right here. First house that I bought, ever, but also in this area. And it was great for me because I wanted to be right smack dab in the middle of Eglin and Hurlburt Field. So you can see Hurlburt Field here, and you can see Eglin Air Force Base up here. I was working on both. It just depended on the day. So I wanted something right there in the middle because I just didn't like driving. And then I became a realtor. That was silly, right? So by the way, I'm a realtor. All of our information is down below. If you guys have any questions or what have you, you can reach out to us. We do a free consultation we could set you up with. We know these areas in and out. I've got a specialist for every single city. So we can break this stuff down for you guys in that consultation and make sure that you're getting in the right spot, because the worst thing you can do is move to an area, think you're getting in the right spot, and then you dislike it. And then you call us later to sell the house because you want to go somewhere else. That's not good. We want you guys to be in the right area the first time, so you're not having to bounce around like that. So all of this, lots and lots and lots of different neighborhoods. Now down here, you've got Navy and Denton. Just be careful in that generalized section. Every area's got their not so great part of towns. This is part of it for us. There's also another small area down here called Carson Drive. It's a little bit iffy, but great, better prices on houses, I guess. Racetrack Road leads from Eglin to Beale, and this is sort of the main road that kind of intersects those two. There's a ton of great restaurants down here. There's a cool place called Kinfolks. It's like this little hole in the wall barbecue place. It's really cool, but there's a bunch of little spots down there. And then we've got Kenwood right here. Kenwood is Kenwood is mainly this area here. I mean, this is technically in the Kenwood area, but people don't really call that part Kenwood. So let me go back to my mouse here. I'll show you why this is so cool. It's because it's a golf course neighborhood. This is actually the golf course that I go to, or did. I haven't golfed in, I don't know, a year or so. I've been kind of falling out of it. But they've got two 18-hole courses here. It's a public course, real inexpensive to play. Like at their highest, it's like $40, but generally, it's like $15 to $35 to play, depending on what time that you're playing. So you've got the Oaks, and then you've got the Pines, and the entire Kenwood neighborhood is attached to it. Kenwood's got its own elementary school. And it's like kind of its own little community here. This was a little bit of the ritzier part in town whenever they were built. And this is mainly 80s and 90s properties here. Of course, there's some new construction that they tore down old properties on, stuff like that. But they do surround this golf course, which is always cool. Now, it's not embedded in the golf course like one of the neighborhoods I'm going to show you up here in Shalimar, but it is all surrounding that, which is super cool there. And then we've got the fairgrounds and stuff up here. So if you're going to come here to the fair or, any of the events they have on over here, that's what this section here is. And they also do gun shows and things like that too. You got some little neighborhoods up here, which are pretty cool too. But Kenwood's kind of the bigger named one over here. Then we start getting into Shalimar. Shalimar is almost like its own little beast down here. Now, they don't have near as much as far as like in this little section, as far as like shopping and stuff. You're going to have to go to the Publix right here. That's going to be your nearest shopping. There is no grocery store that I'm aware of, unless it's, there is technically like a little hacienda sort of thing. It's just real small. But that's about it. So other than that, that is Shalimar as a whole. Shalimar is a little bit pricier. Probably the second priciest place that we're going to talk about today. Actually, it might even be the first because of the country club down here. So let me show you that little section. So, first, let me start here. All of this is all lot and blocked, as you can see. It's very, very easy to follow. You've got avenues going left and right and streets going north and south. And most of them are just numbered 9th, 6th, 7th, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really easy to get around. And they've been cleaning this up quite a lot. This whole section here used to be nothing but trailers and mobile homes, things like that for a very long time. And a builder came in, bought out all of the land. And now that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing these brand new construction homes. That's what all of these are. And they're just being built all over. You can kind of see them scattered all over the place. So really good thing because it really helped out the area. I'm going to be honest, those trailer parks, those mobile home areas did not look good. It wasn't like they were pretty. I've got nothing against mobile homes, nothing against trailer parks at all. But they were run down. They were bad. Like it was dilapidated. They were falling apart. Some of them were bubbling out. Like it was really bad. So I'm really glad to see that they started doing that. And then you come over here and, getting a little click happy here. Then you come over here and you've got the country club area here. So this is all a golf course neighborhood. It's also golf cart friendly. So kind of a Freudian slip there. And then the Shalimar Point Golf Club right here that you can go to. I personally don't like this one near as much. I just don't think they take care of it like they do Fort Walton. That the city takes care of that one pretty good. But what's really cool about this one is they do have a tennis center right here. You do have a little tennis club here right inside of the neighborhood. So this is where the gate is. This is a gated community, although there's nobody ever at the gate. So I don't even know if I want to call it that. But they've got a tennis club over here, and then you got a bunch of houses right here on the water. So if you're looking to get on the Choctawhatchee Bay, this is a great spot to do it. It's much cheaper than going out into Destin or going out into, even North Santa Rosa Beach or anything like that. This is a lot cheaper to get onto the water out here. And I'll show you those prices here in a second. Then you've got this great golf course. Again, not my favorite. They don't take care of it, but it's all right. It does its job. So that's the Shalimar area. And then I can't wait to show you guys this portion. I lived here for like a decade. And I drove by this. I used to work here on Eglin Air Force Base. As I told you, where my first house was over here by Sam's Club. And I would drive all the way through, and I drove by this neighborhood right here. I did not know this neighborhood was here until I became a real estate professional. It's so tucked away. As you're driving up here, you don't see anything. It's all trees right here on the bayous and everything. So you've got a ton of waterfront communities, and it's like its own little self-encompassing community. It's got its own schools. It's got its own everything, and it's huge. And I can't believe I didn't know that this existed before. You can see here, we've got, I think that's on the Air Force Enlisted Village. So this is actually for the Air Force Enlisted Village. The Hawthorne House here, I believe, is for widowers, widowies, things like that. But what do you call it? Paquito Bayou is the name of this neighborhood. Just kind of trickles out everywhere. You can see all these little houses. This is late 60s. Most of them were 70s and 80s style neighborhood. So these are going to be a little bit older. You're getting a larger plot of land than you would in South Fort Walton or, Fort Walton proper, anything like that. And even a little bit bigger than most of Shalimar, although this is a subset of Shalimar technically. So you've got your own playground right here. This is where you'd be coming in, depending on if you're coming from the airport side or the Eglin Air Force Base side. You've got access either way. And most people are coming in here. You've got your first playground right here. It's hard to tell. It's nothing but trees and stuff. Hopefully we get some B-roll of it because I know I've taken a bunch of videos out here. You've got your own school out here. You've got, it's just a bunch of cool stuff. And the best part is it's right outside of Eglin Air Force Base. If you're looking at staying at Eglin, that is a great spot for you. So now that we've looked at kind of the main areas here, we've zoned out a little bit. We know where the Fort Walton Beach Airport is. I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what drive times would be to get to some of the other areas. So to get into Destin here, this is going to be probably a 15 to 30 minute drive, pending traffic, pending on where you're at in Fort Walton Beach. And then if you wanted to go up to, let's say, the Milton area to go to Blackwater River State Forest. This is where I like to go tubing down the river. I like to take my Jeep out there, go off-roading. There's some great hiking. There's a bunch of stuff out here. So to get from here to here, that's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. Again, just depending on where you're at in Fort Walton. And if you're deep enough, like you're in Mary Esther, it actually makes more sense to go up here into Milton to go this direction. And again, it takes about an hour at that point as well. A lot of cool stuff to do up here. Pensacola will take you about 45 minutes to an hour to get to, and then Panama City or Panama City Beach, either one will take you about an hour 15. It's a little bit longer to get out there. You want to go out to the 30A area. Awesome. That's about 40 minutes drive. And then Miramar Beach, get to like the Silver Sands outlets and stuff, which was in my last video on Destin. If you guys haven't seen that one and you're curious about it, we'll throw it up in the cards, which would be a little gray bar that pops up at the top of this video. But if you wanted to get out there to that would be about a 35-40 minute drive as well. So I guess probably 38 would probably take another 10 minutes. So I think I said 40 minutes, 45 would probably take about 50, 55, something like that. So it's kind of your bearings there. Let's go ahead and pull up the MLS and show you guys what you guys can expect for in different price points, depending on what you're looking at. So I'm going to kind of break this down and show you the different chunks of where you can be and what the lifestyle is going to look like in that generalized area. And I didn't mention this before, but there's also a ton of condos right here on Okaloosa Island. And then there's some single family homes as well up on the north side. So how Okaloosa Island is split up is the north side is all single family homes, townhomes, and condos. But this chunk over here is not to be short-term rented, although some people do it anyway. This side over here can be short-term rented, and that's new in the last 2 years or so. And then on the south side here, these are all short-term options. So that's what a lot of people buy these for. These are great investments, guys. If you're looking for a second property or you're looking for just a cash flowing property, there's a bunch of good ones here on the island, and you're not paying the outlandish fees that you will over there in Destin. And on top of that, the beaches aren't as crazy too. So that's always kind of good. All right, let's go ahead and zoom out again, and let's look at some of these price points of what it will look like living in certain areas. Let me see if I can move this bad boy. Oh, I can move it up top. That's cool. All right. We're going to start. Actually, let's just do this. We're going to start in we'll call it 100K to, let's do 300,000. We'll do this in $2,000 increments. So as you can see here in the lower price points, you're going to be in primarily Mary Esther here. So that's this section. There's a bunch of those over there. You've got some in Fort Walton proper is kind of a big chunk. And then you've got some up here in the northwest part of town as well. And then a few in Shalimar. These ones are going to be kind of like in that main area where a bunch of the houses are here. And then these are probably condos at Finisterre is what I'm guessing. And I want to see if I'm right. So I'm going to click on one of these bad boys. Yep, Finisterre. So one on Old Ferry Road. I know this because I used to live in this complex, but I also just know the neighborhood know Fort Walton very well. So great condos to get in there. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that you're going to be getting in this price point. I'm going to start with the lowest price, moving all the way up. So you're not going to be amazed by this. The lowest price property in Fort Walton Beach right now is a 2-1 in Finisterre. So Finisterre condos, check these out. This is a waterfront community. It was so cool. I used to take my dog. I lived on the second floor, so I'd have to take her up and down stairs all the time, which sucked. But she got to go out there and hang out at the water and stuff. So I lived in one of these units. And this is very similar. I mean, they're all built the exact same. This is a ground floor unit here. It's got a real small galley kitchen, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Like, they are not fancy. They're very to the point. But they do have a pool. They've got a laundry room, although a bunch of these folks have converted one of the closets into a laundry room as well. This is a little clubhouse area. This is where the laundry is here, right here. And then you've got, through this little entranceway, you've got a little pool back there. So you can kind of see what you're getting for $180,000. Now, this one is going to have HOA, but look at this view. And this is on 3 different sides too. So it's not just like you're facing the water in one little aspect. This is the whole complex here. So you're getting water on this side, which is blocked by the houses here on Port Drive. But then you've got these 2 other areas here, and it's so cool. And so my unit was actually right here. And I would walk right out here, and there's this little beach area that you can launch like kayaks and stuff from. That's where I would go. And there'd be people sitting on their back patio and stuff out here. So super duper cool. But that is the lowest price property. And you can see a whole bunch of them at 189. So you've got one over here. It's another condo complex. This is Bayview. So here, let me zoom out, kind of show you guys where it's at. So this is up here by Racetrack, over by Shalimar, right when you go over the bridge. This one's right to the right. There's a little Dollar Tree here, and then you kind of sneak by the Dollar Tree to get into the complex here. Not my favorite complex out of all places, but it's very inexpensive, built very similar. It's got docks and everything. And then you've got some over here at Spanish Villas as well. We can kind of keep going. Let me get into a ranch style home. This is going to be a very common style. Whenever I'm saying like properties in the 70s, a lot of them are built like this. So they're just a big rectangle. There's nothing wrong with them, but the rooms are a little bit smaller. Sometimes this one doesn't have a garage. But what can you expect for $200K? Looks like they've stripped the kitchen as well. So you need to throw in a stove before you can purchase it with a loan, in case you didn't know that. And that's kind of a $200,000 single family home. We've got a bunch of different, as you can see, a bunch of these are condos, right? Unit 3B, apartment D, more at Finisterre. Finisterre's always got a ton of stuff for sale in here. Cool neighborhood, all in all. We already went over that in depth, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Let's go into kind of a $250,000 home, give you guys an idea of what this will look like. Let's pull one in Shalimar. Now, because this is in Shalimar, I'm not expecting, oh, this is a townhome. That's not what I wanted. Let's go here. This is a 3-1, so it doesn't even have two bathrooms, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. This is another one of those ranch style homes. It's going to feel a little bit more closed off because back then they kind of sectioned everything off. It's got this galley kitchen. Looks like it's upgraded for the most part. You know, it's not super fancy stuff, but they've done the main things, the flooring. They upgraded the kitchen a little bit, although they did leave a little bit of older appliances in there. It's got a cool little Florida room, whatever you want to call it, and then what we call here is a natural backyard, which is great because you don't have to sit there and mow it all the time. It doesn't get out of hand, but it also doesn't have a bunch of grass and stuff like that. So that's that, you know, up to 300,000. Let's go ahead and take a look at what properties from 300 to 500 will look like. This is where the bulk of the properties are going to be. We've got 279 options in this realm, and this is including condos because we've got a ton of these condos here. And I want to do the exact same thing. Let's start with let's start with the $300,000 home. Let's see this one on Jack's Drive. Looks nice and pretty. I'm picking these at random, by the way, guys. This is a 4-1. I don't want to do that. It's kind of an odd property. Let's find another one here. Winfield, Mary Esther, 310,000. It's got some cool beams, fireplace. Again, sort of that smaller style, although this isn't a ranch style. They did change this up a little bit, need some updates, things like that. This one is a little bit bigger. It's got its own laundry room. Let's take a peek at like a 400,000. Sorry, it's taking a while to get there. We got a lot of properties for sale right now. All right. Ridgewood, which, by the way, if you guys are in the market, if you're watching this anytime within the first couple of months of it going out, you guys are in prime time right now. If you guys are holding off because of the election, you're trying to see what happens, what have you, elections don't change the housing market. They never have. There's never been any significant difference. What I want to make sure that I point out to you guys is that there's a golden hour, there's a golden opportunity right now for people that are stepping into the market, right? I know a lot of people are waiting because interest rates or what have you. And it's not the worst worst idea in the world, except when the interest rates come down, the pricing is going to go up and you're going to pay more for it. Right now, our sellers have been stagnant. This is the most amount of homes I've seen in this price range in Fort Walton Beach in a long time. And so what that means is a lot of sellers are very, very, very ready to sell their home. And so they're giving a lot. They're giving a lot of concessions. They're giving a lot of they're paying closing costs, they're paying repairs, they're getting a percentage off list price. So if you want to save the most amount of money possible, that's how you do it. You'll just have to refinance later. And I know that's not fun for a lot of people to hear, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you guys the legit answer here. I am actively looking for properties right now because I know we're in a golden prime time. So as I'm clicking through these, by the way, I'm kind of halfway looking for myself too, because I'm looking for a new rental, or actually I'm really looking to get into the downtown Fort Walton area near Elliott's Point and stuff like that. But my point with this, and I'm clicking off that picture because that picture was bad. If your freaking realtor, wherever you're living, pulls out a cell phone to take a picture, fire them on the spot. I don't care if they're your best friend. Fired, gone, like not cool. And that's exactly what this was. Like, this is a cell phone photo. That's ridiculous. $400,000 home. Anyway, it's a pet peeve of mine. My point is, you guys have a golden opportunity right now to jump into the market and not pay an arm and a leg. As soon as those interest rates have a 5 in front of them, 5.99, which we're expecting the first quarter of next year. If you guys want to get on our newsletter, just reach out to us. All of our confirmation or all of our information is down below. We've got a monthly newsletter we go out where I do a 10 to 20 minute video on the entire state of the market. I deep dive into it so that you guys get a good idea. And then I give you guys the main things that you need to know. But anyway, golden freaking opportunity right now. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, give us a call. You're going to thank us later for sure. So anyway, let's go into this property in Shalimar. This one looks like they actually used some professional photo. Nope, these are not great photos either. But let's find another one, guys. I'm so sorry. These agents are lazy. All right. So this looks like an upgraded one with no garage. This is not the norm. I know I've picked several without garages. That's not the norm out here. It's just been kind of happenstance here. In fact, let me use one at Sandy Ridge. Sandy Ridge Estates, nice, cool little neighborhood. Got multiple friends and past clients that live out here. So kind of a run-of-the-mill property, $400K. I'm not seeing anything like amazing about it. It's got these cool vaulted ceilings, of course, 2-story, which we don't have a lot of 2-stories out here. We do have some, but it's not the norm out here. Oh, I really like that. Look at that. They did a good job with this. All these built-ins here. That looks sharp. So this is what you can expect at about 400,000. Let's scroll down to about 500. This is when you're going to start getting into more of the pool homes. You can actually get a pool home around here at about 350,000. In fact, we just had one on the other day that was like 299,000. That doesn't happen all the time. It was a little bit dated, but here's one at 450. This is what reminded me of the pool home here. So at 450,000, you've got a cool 2-car garage with a carport, corner lot. Oh, I love these doors. Look at those. That's freaking cool. So it's got the old bamboo, or what do they call that? Man, my mind is blank right now. There's a name for that type of flooring. If you know what the name of it is, put it down below because it is escaping my brain right now. It's something with the C. Anyway, so, definitely some flooring, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 of flooring in this thing would do it wonders. It might be a little bit more than that, depending on what you're choosing. They've got kind of older style bathrooms, but it does have a pretty cool pool. All right. I told you I was going to show you a 500K. Let's see, 500K. We'll start with a house, and then I'm going to try to find a condo as well to show you. This is a brand new construction property. This is from Watry. Watry builds a great home. In fact, if I can, maybe in the next video, I'll go out there and actually show you guys these. These are so cool. I love Watry homes. They do a good job. They don't skip a lot of corners. This one's a little bit of a longer property. So let's see where this is at, where they had to build this. Oh, okay. This is right behind. So this is that little condo complex I said wasn't my favorite is right here. So this is that new construction neighborhood right behind it. They're chopping down this whole area here and building stuff on it. So very cool access because you're right there off of Racetrack. You can get to that Publix easy, which is right across the street. And they built a beautiful home. It's $500,000, 500,000. And this looks like wood look tile, by the way. That isn't LVP, so that's upgraded. These are little things that you can't really see from photos all the time. But beautiful. Did a good job. Let's see if we can find a condo. Let's see, which condo are we in? Islander. This is a very popular one. So this one's right over one of those secret beach accesses that I was talking about here. In fact, this one's so cool. The Islander's interesting because it was originally 2 different buildings, as you can see here. And then this one was a hotel. And then they eventually converted it to condos over time. A lot of people, when they're coming to visit the Islander, this is one of the more popular ones on the island. And this one's, it looks like this is the one that's in that in that hotel side, because that's why it's overlooking here, because it would be this on the right side or on the, that side of the building. Very big pool. It's got some cool amenities here. This is why I bring up that hotel thing. It's really hard to tell in this, but this picture kind of shows it. There is a, let's do it right here. Right here, there is an opening right there. And that opening goes into what would be another hotel room. So they've actually cut that open. So this is like one long line. And they generally have a restroom right here. Depending on which side it's at, it'll either be the kitchen on this side and then the restroom on the other side, what have you. And then that's living room, dining room. And then on the other side, they do a bedroom or two. See if we can find some pictures of that and give you guys a better idea of that. Yep. So, yep, this is the kitchen side. So this one's flip-flopped. You've got this here. And that's why you see a door here in the middle of the kitchen. So to a lot of people, it throws them off, but it's really cool. You can enter in both sides, but most people just keep one side locked. Then you got the bathroom on this side. Beautiful views of the Gulf of Mexico. That's gorgeous for under $500,000. Not much, but under $500,000 here. So this is what I was talking about. This is where they blew out that wall. And that's why this space right here is just kind of odd. Now it's cool because most of them do have two different walkouts to go to the, go see the beach and everything. But it just, some people find it a little bit funky. This is the only one on the island that's like this. I mean, there's definitely quirks about some of these other properties. And then you've got stuff like this. This is Destin West. This is on the bay side of Destin West. So this is on Okaloosa Island here. This little star is where it's supposed to be. That is not right at all. Oh, this isn't Destin West. No, it is. They're not even close. Somebody, see, this is what I'm talking about agents doing what they're, doing things wrong. This isn't anywhere near where Destin West is. Destin West is right here. So this is actually where it is. That's how far off they missed. They missed by like 6 miles. So anyway, can't trust it. Can't trust it. But this is that same picture that we were seeing right here. It's got the lazy river going all about. Now, Destin West is interesting because it's got one side here, and then it's got that big bridge you guys probably have seen if you've come down here to visit. If you haven't, you don't know what I'm talking about. It's got a big walk-over bridge, and then it goes to the Gulf side of it as well. And any of the owners here actually get access to the grotto, which is this big, I keep forgetting I have this cool tool here, which is this big rock right here that has like a swim-up bar, and there's some other swim-up bar or some other bars and sweets and ice cream and stuff like that. You do have access there, and you've got access right here, and you can just walk right over there anytime. But Destin West is so cool. There are some powerhouse rentals in here. If you're looking for a great rental, Destin West has a bunch of them, especially on this side over here on the bay side. On the first floor, they've got these 2-bed, 1-bath units, and some of them are 3-2s as well. Actually, this might be one of them. But they've got garages is the entire point. So you can actually pull right into your garage. You go upstairs. Now you do have to walk outside to go in through the back door on most of them. But they freaking cash flow like crazy. It's so insane how much they cash flow. So anyway, let's edit the search. We'll do one more. I'm not going to go into the multi-million-dollar properties. If you guys are interested in something that's over $1 million, please reach out to us because there's not going to be as many. There definitely are. As you can see, just going from 500 to $1 million, we're already down less than half of the amount of properties that we had before. So when we're looking at the map, you can kind of see where everything is at. Let's go back to this little version of it. So now you're starting to see in this price range, you're starting to see a little bit more in Shalimar than you did before, a lot less in Mary Esther, a lot less in Fort Walton proper, and more on the island. So you start gauging like where the prices are based on where the property is. And then you're also seeing a lot more here in the Elliott Point region, the area that I want to be in, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to take a look at one of these, just kind of see what these are all about. Let's see what Waynell's about. I wouldn't live on Waynell personally. Why is it not opening for me? Let's see if that'll do it. Nope, that will not. Okay. Well, we're not going to do it that way then. We're just going to pick randomly like we did before. So we already looked at a $500,000 home. Let's look at a $600,000. Let's check out this one. This is on Emerald Isle, another condo. For those of you that might be interested in condos, this is on the far end of the island. And we're just going to click through this pretty quickly. They've got a full Gulf view, which you're generally going to start getting. You notice in the last one, it was 500,000 and it was at a side. So that's what we're talking about whenever you call us and you say, hey, is this a side view, a full view? That was a side view. This is a full Gulf view. So that means you're going to get the rise and the sunset. One of the best things about Okaloosa Island in general, when you go into Destin and you buy stuff up there or in Miramar or anything like that, a lot of these buildings are catty corners so that you're either getting the sunrise or the sunset. They do this because they can maximize the amount of properties that have a good view and make more money that way. Well, here on Okaloosa Island, they're built like this. for the most part. And so they're all like that. And you're getting these great views all around. You're getting them for a lot better of a price. This same kind of view in Destin, you're looking at 900, probably 800, 900,000 and up. And for the same size condo as well. So you can kind of see what it looks like inside. It's probably a rental powerhouse, looking at the type of flooring that it's got. And then it's right over the pool. If you're going to buy a condo and you don't want a lot of noise, don't be right over the pool. Little tip for you, because the kiddos will be in there having a good time, stuff like that. All right, let's find an actual single family home. This one's in Hanover Port Lane. This is a cool neighborhood as well. It's right by Bridgeport Colony. Let's see if I can, yeah, there we go. So that's this whole area here. They've got their own little gated entrance. And then you come back here into Bridgeport. I actually lived, I kind of pointed it out earlier, right here. This is my first house. It's one of these over here. Actually, it's up here. It's still rented out today. I still own it. But cool neighborhood is my point. Let's take a look at this. This is a 2-story, 2-car garage, brick. Oh, it's got a cool little virtual tour. By the way, if you want to see any of these properties, you can always reach out to us and just say, hey, send me a list of everything you guys have on the market between this and this price. Give us some parameters, stuff like that. We can definitely set that up for you guys. This is a beautiful home. How much is this? $625. Beautiful kitchen. Look at this. Holy cow. Got the stove right in the center too. That is so cool. So this is what you're getting at about $600,000. The same kind of property in Destin, which I keep referring to Destin because that's the city most people know us for. The same property over there is going to be $1 million easy, depending on where you're at in Destin. Of course, might be a little bit cheaper. Then we'll find one at $750, and then we'll call it a day. Let's see here. 2,088 square feet. Got a cool pool. Kind of picked at random here. Let's see. Oh no, is this a townhome? No, this is a full house. This is such an interesting house. This must be on the island. Yep. So we got to see one on the island, which is cool. These don't come up that often. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of them. Even if I lowered the price point, most of these are $500,000 and higher. And mainly because there's just not as many houses here, but a lot of people, once they get on the island, they generally don't leave because you can walk right across. You've got the beach there. You've got your own pool. You kind of got the best of both worlds. Now, the big downfall of this is during a major hurricane, this entire island's gone. Like, it will be water for sure. So a lot of these houses, they flood every 15 to 20 years or so. Not all of them, but just about all of them. Let's see if we can find one more. I know I said we're going to be done here, but I want to see this one in Mary Esther here. So this is in the Fort Walton side of Mary Esther. So you get all the benefits of being in Fort Walton, you know, all of the shopping, the grocery shopping, all of that great stuff. With a little bit better pricing as well. How much is this one? $775. This is beautiful. You got this thing staged perfectly. This is, oh man, I love that wall right there. So this is what you're getting at $750, and then it keeps going on and on. If we were to take out the price in general and go for the very highest, I think the highest property we have is like 15 mil, unless that $20 million one popped up. No, you're supposed to go the other way. Sort descending. Oh, I did. I'm just not scrolled all the way. Okay, so 6 million is our best price property, or most expensive property. Let's see where this bad boy is. Just for fun, this is in the Yacht Club area. So this is what I was talking about before, Yacht Club Drive, and this is the Yacht Club right here. If you wanted to store your boat there, this one's right here. And just for fun, let's just click through the photos. Oh man, this one is so cool. This is my favorite property in Fort Walton. Okay, this thing has a basketball court, tennis, bowling, batting cages, kennels. Like, look at this thing. It's got this cool infinity pool with a lap thing in it as well. Look at this, indoor basketball court. Oops, get out of here. Oh, shoot. Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll just do this. This is better. Huge windows. You've got quick access to the water. You got your own freaking huge gym. Look at this big old kitchen. This is just a beautiful property. They've tried to sell this one on and off. Nobody's picked it up yet. Just gorgeous. And it's going to show you more here in a second. So here's your bowling alley. You've got above this, you got the batting cages up here. It should show that here in a second. Yeah, batting cages. Look at this. So stinking cool, isn't it? Movie theater. I completely forgot about the movie theater. Clicking through here pretty quick. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that. I just like looking at this beautiful house. And there we go. All right. So that is Fort Walton Beach in a map tour. Guys, if you guys are liking these map tours, please, please, please let me know. I don't really, I don't want to be giving you guys information that isn't helpful. So if this was helpful, please comment it down below. As I mentioned a couple of times in this video, if you do have a question or you'd like to sit with that one-on-one consultation to really narrow down which city you would like to be in, because look at all these cities. This is everything we service right here in a snapshot. We do everything from Pensacola to Panama City Beach. So that means we're servicing Destin, Miramar, Santa Rosa Beach, Seaside, Rosemary, 38 in general, Freeport, Defuniak, Crestview, Niceville, Fort Walton, Navarre, Milton, Pace, Pensacola, and Gulf Breeze and Tiger Point. All of these, we're covering this whole area, and we have specialists in each city so that we can really narrow down the best area for you. But you've got to give us a call, text, email, or there is a Calendly link down below in the description of this video. If you actually go down there, there's a link you can get right onto my calendar that goes directly to me. It's not always going to be me at the meeting because I like to make sure that we're pairing the right person with the right person so that you're getting the best person for the job, for the area that you want to live in. As always, if you guys have any questions, you can reach out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.